Welcome back. Do you remember when you were a kid and you had a favorite TV show and then you grew up and you're like, I'm going to go back to my favorite TV show and it sucked? Yeah. Well, that's what we're talking about tonight. Welcome back to the program, you lovely people. I am Larry Brantley, and that is Micah Donahoe.
Greetings, programs.
That is Brent Williams.
Hello.
And right behind everything is our producer, Chris Hockenberry. And I say everything. There's just a bunch of equipment you can't see, and he's behind all of it. But he is such a good guy.
Shouldn't we just start referring to him as the Hawk?
You know what,
No,
Micah?
his nickname is Rue.
I don't really care. The second that Larry started calling him the Hawk, I was like, that's effing awesome.
It is awesome. Yeah, he's the Hawk. So the Hawk is also with us tonight, and we four are the Nerdherfers. We are four middle-aged guys who love cigars and whiskey and nerd shit, and this is what we do every single week. We take a cigar and we review it. We review a bottle of whiskey, and then we pick a topic and we just nerd it into the ground. And tonight is no exception. I really think you're going to like this one. Hey, if you have not joined the Nerdherfers Nation, we would love to have you on board. All you have to do is go out to nerdherfers.com and hit subscribe. That will clue you in to when new episodes drop. We've got a kick-ass merch store out there, all kinds of fun stuff. We also have a YouTube channel, let me back up, youtube.com/@nerdherfers.
When did we buy YouTube? That's pretty cool.
Well, you know what? I didn't want to say anything.
Well, we are rich.
I was trying to surprise you guys for Christmas, and you blew it.
Thanks,
Whatever. Brent. Oh, yeah, thanks, Brent.
Sorry.
Anyway, it's youtube.com/@nerdherfers, and you can subscribe to our channel, and that way you get to see three middle-aged guys instead of just hearing us every week. And isn't that better? Yay!
Is it though?
I mean,
actually. All right. Hey, there's a segment that we do every single week on this show. We love it, and we call it Nerd News. Last week's Nerd News today, and as always, we go over to the anchor desk with our anchor person, Brent Williams, who always has some fun, weird, interesting, and conversational nerd shit for us to talk about. Brent, what do you got?
thrill me.
Thrill me.
Thrill me.
Okay, well, this is pretty cool. How many of you love wasting time?
Oh my gosh, every day.
Yeah, right? Well, now you're going to get tons of help because
Thank goodness.
Atari is releasing a line of watches. They're smartwatches, so not only do they tell you about your health, but they have games on them.
Oh my God, I need that.
Oh no.
If I could just throw up the meme of take my money from Futurama,
It's got
right now.
It's got Missile Command. It's got the Centipedes.
Stop.
It's got Pong.
I can only get so erect. You need to stop.
And it's got Super Breakout.
That was the best.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, folks. I got a little excited.
Oh no.
I'm never getting anything done again.
I need to move on quickly.
Yes, please do. Please
Okay,
do.
well,
No, slow it down.
did you know that?
A little more to the right.
Okay, stop. Stop. Okay.
Come on, you got this. You can do
To
this.
recenter.
Okay.
Come on, you can do this. I believe in you.
So we all love a good reboot of a TV show, right?
Sometimes.
Well, guess what's getting a reboot?
Wait.
It's getting a new version.
Fraggle Rock.
Knight Rider.
I wish. Fraggle Rock. I love Fraggle Rock. Not Knight Rider. No, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
What?
Yeah.
All right, wait. So are we talking like reboot or continuation?
A reboot.
Reimagining.
Yeah, a rebooted continuation. So Sarah Michelle Gellar is supposed to be in it, but she's probably going to be Slayer Prime. Because if you remember, I think it was, I don't remember when exactly it was, but at the end of the series, like a whole new generation of Slayers got activated.
Yeah.
So pretty much they're thinking that what's going to happen is she's going to be like, the wise old Slayer that's kind of the mentor to the new generation.
Well, I'm really digging what Sarah Michelle Gellar is doing because she did Dexter Original Sin, And I didn't know what Sarah was doing apart from like, cooking shows or just hanging out with friends.
Well, that's kind of what gave him the idea,
raising
actually,
kids
was the success of Dexter Original Sin kind of gave him the idea.
And I really dig what she did with that show. So,
Yeah.
and I'm a huge Dexter fan. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
That explains a lot, actually.
It does. Yeah. We don't need to go into that now.
All right.
we might go into that later.
Possibly.
Remember that joke about the light bulbs in the closet?
Yeah, that guy was inexperienced.
see
He didn't
last
know enough about
episode.
wrapping a room.
That's right. Okay, so I think we actually talked about this briefly before, but so in 2023, a little movie came out that was a remake.
Little movie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. No pun intended. It was a movie. It was a remake of Toxic Avenger, starring Peter Dinklage.
Oh,
It came out at a film festival.
are we allowed to laugh?
Yeah, I don't know. It came out at a film
Well,
festival.
now we are.
It came out at a film festival. It's got Kevin Bacon and Elijah Wood in it.
Okay.
So basically, Dinklage plays a janitor called Winston Goose, and he has an accident, and he becomes the Toxic Avenger, aka Toxie.
Because, like Pixie.
And oh my gosh, I love
You're
Peter
gonna
Dinklage.
just-
Yeah,
All right, Larry,
I
too.
absolutely
Love to
Larry,
death.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Love him to death.
But anyway, so it's actually getting a national release. That is August 29th of this year.
Hey, for St. Patrick's Day, didn't they turn the river in Chicago green?
They always do every year.
Yeah. Didn't they have a boat and they had the Toxic Avenger on it this year?
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
wow.
You have to go look that up.
I just thought that river was always green. I didn't know that
No.
was a thing they
So
did.
is Toxie.
It's green once a year.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
They had him on the boat.
Oh, that's all you got? Yay! Yay!
Wait.
That's it for this week's edition of Nerd News.
You want to do that again? I didn't mean to hit that
No,
button.
it's all good. I thought that was awesome timing.
You didn't.
I was just done.
No, let's roll. Let's roll with it. That was awesome.
We are off to a fantastic
I was just
start
done.
tonight.
Brent's like, I am
I
done.
was just done. That's what Brent's going to do now.
Shut it down.
Just when Brent wants to be done with a conversation or a topic or whatever, he's just going to hit a button,
I know.
and it's going to be either that or
I
it's going to
love
be
it.
something else.
He's going to
So-
create a new stinger for
He
us as well. Like
absolutely
right
is.
we're in the middle of that. He's like, oh my God, Mike is talking too long. Stinger.
When
Mike
you
is
know those
too
little boxes, wrap
wordsy.
it up.
Wrap up the topic. So much.
Shut your mouth.
All right. So every week, one of us brings a cigar for us to review. One of us brings a bottle of whiskey, and of course, we pick the topic that we're going
Way
to
to
talk
go,
about
Miyagi.
tonight. Did you? Well, no, Miyagi. If he does it with chopsticks.
Yeah, I know chopsticks, but he was awesome, so I wanted to give him some credit.
You know,
Thanks,
fair
man.
enough.
Thanks.
Why you
fair
gotta
enough.
step on that shit?
You're looking really good there in your black shirt, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
You're
Totally
very
hot.
Johnny Cash.
So
Very
hot.
Johnny Cash. All right, whose turn was it to bring cigars this week?
Oh, it's mine.
Oh, yay!
All right. I'm a little bit excited about this because as often as we are taken back to Rojas, I'm taking us back to Faustino.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Well, what?
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. So this time I have got a little treat out of Faustino. And if you don't remember, audience, this shop is a local shop in the Dallas area. They have a shop in Casa Linda in Dallas, and Royce City.
Roy City.
All right.
I knew it was an R word.
It was an R word.
Yep.
There's
I'm gonna
Rockwall,
pass-
Rowlett, Roy City.
You're going to pass these down.
Oh, that's what you got. Okay. Ooh, look at that.
All right. And then I've got one for me and one for our producer.
That looks like is that a Churchill? Or would they consider that a Toro?
That's very long.
Yep. This is a 660.
Wow.
This is referred to as the Faustino Cuban.
Oh.
Okay. This has a wrapper that is Sumatra. The filler is Nicaraguan and Dominican. And the binder is Peruvian.
Oh, wow.
Peruvian.
Yes, sir.
So fancy.
Well, that's appropriate since we're going back to the 80s.
And I love...
There's no marching powder in this episode. I want to make that very clear.
Oh, shiza. I got to say that, I'm a big advocate for this shop. I really, really love it. If you haven't made it out there yet, please do.
Oh, no.
What'd you do?
I snipped my cigar.
What'd you
but,
do, Richard?
No, I'm just going to see if I can save that.
Do you need some glue? I got some glue.
Nah, I got some glue. All right.
I got your glue right here.
Let's see what happens here. That was a little dry on the...
These bad boys have been in my humidor, so...
Wow, that just...
But his humidor is at like 30%, so...
Okay.
Well, 74, but whatever.
Cold draw.
It's like a...
I specifically chose this one because of the Sumatra the wrapper, and I know that you're a big fan.
I am a big fan.
I'm trying to be a friend, you know.
Thanks.
Thanks. That's gratitude for you.
I'm getting like a niece on the cold draw.
You know what?
Not a nephew?
We went out of order.
Sorry.
It was
we
my
did.
fault. We went out of order.
We did. We're supposed to do bottle
We're
first.
supposed to do bottle first.
It's all right.
That's okay. We're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. It's fine. Everything's
Start
fine.
over. Start over.
Shut it
Take
down.
2.
I don't have a button for that. Start over. Ooh.
It's actually kind of difficult for me to describe that taste. It's pleasant.
It is very pleasant.
The smoke on this is a little acrid, like sharp.
I think that's a Peruvian.
If I start bouncing around the room, you'll know it's Peruvian.
Ooh, what is that? It's quite pleasant, actually.
I'm getting some cedar on there.
Yep, that's the cedar. That's
Cedar?
the thing I'm getting the most.
I'm getting a little bit of anise on the finish from that cold draw.
Yeah, I can
I'm
get
still
that.
getting a smidge of anise.
So one of the reasons why I chose this
That-
one
yeah,
was
okay.
the Sumatra wrapper, and there's a little bit of leathery, that barn that
Barnyard,
Larry likes.
yep,
Yeah,
barnyard.
It's that stuff that Larry likes. I was actually trying to crowd please today because I've had this one quite a few times. Absolutely love it. And one of the great things about Faustino's is that you can buy their sticks like at a price point somewhere between $8 and $10. But if you buy them in bricks of 25, the discount is absolutely ridiculous. Which is why I spend so much time with the Doble Corona, because that's my absolute favorite.
Right.
But this is a close second.
Yeah.
It's a very good.
very nice.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that. And this is the Cuban?
Yeah,
What they call the Cuban.
They call the
This is
Faustino's
just
Cuban.
long enough that Mike can make it halfway through the episode.
I might. No promises though. Yeah, this is a 660.
No, that's very good. Very good. Yeah, it's pretty heavy on the cedar for me.
Well, let's see how that pairs with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's
With
see
the
it.
bottom.
What you got, buddy?
So I have something that our producer was kind enough to bring back to me from one of his trips, from
Aw.
one of my favorite places to go down in
Rocktown.
South Central- No, it's sorry. That's in Arkansas. This is South Central Texas.
Okay,
Nice.
let's
The hill
close.
the hill country.
The hill
Oh,
country.
I'm gonna need that cap.
You know, we visited. One of our early episodes. I think I brought a bottle of Striker
Yeah,
from.
I remember
from
that
the
one.
Andalusia Distillery.
Yeah.
So this is another distillery in that area.
Okay.
I haven't had this, and this is a rye. This is a rye whiskey.
Ooh.
Because Mike has
Oh.
said we could bring ryes.
That's
now.
right.
So here we go.
Yeah, and I apologize for ever shutting down the idea of rye.
This is from 1693 Distillery. It is the Rye Whiskey.
Okay.
All I can tell you about this, because they don't have a mash bill, is it is small batch, 88 proof, aged 3 years.
I love the bottle.
It is
very
farm.
cool.
It is farm to table, so they actually grow the rye and everything from from Central Texas.
Love that.
I
Love that.
So anyway, let's get into this.
All right,
Yes,
hit
and I do love this stopper. Oh, sorry, hold on.
And? Yeah.
Oh, good sound.
I think I blinked a little because I thought I was going to splash it.
I actually thought you were going to splash it on
You
yourself.
have a
It
face
sounded
guard on your
splashy.
face. It's called glasses.
It's like a sneeze
That's
guard.
me. That's you.
Oh.
I mean, unless you like my cooties, I don't.
Well, no, my open sores are almost completely healed, so it's
Oh,
fine.
for the love of God! I'll just take mine then.
There we go. That's a beautiful shot right there.
Yeah.
For those of you watching at home on YouTube, that was the shot. That was the money shot.
Our producer has very nice elbows.
He really does. He clearly moisturizes.
Oh,
You work out your elbows.
I definitely encourage taking a hit off the cigar. It's got a great nose.
Oh my. Citrus?
Oh yeah. It's like flowery. It's like
Yeah,
floral.
Floral, citrusy,
Oh wow.
but not like girly.
No. And it's not super. I mean, it's 88 proof. And for being aged only 3 years, it says 3+ on the
This
label.
is a very different rye that I've ever had.
Very different.
It's got a little spicy.
Yeah, it's just not. I expected a nice, or not, just like a more peppery burn on it.
Yeah.
This
As most ryes
this
do.
almost tastes like a cognac to me.
Wow.
Oh.
With that floral thing. Our producer is suggesting hibiscus flower.
I've never smoked.
Never
hibiscus.
having eaten a hibiscus, I don't know.
I mean,
but
tasted it. I mean,
You ever had
drank
hibiscus?
it.
You ever had hibiscus tea or anything like
I've
that?
never snorted
no,
hibiscus.
my
before.
wife definitely has. I drink coffee.
Mm-hmm.
My wife, who is caffeine intolerant, she cannot. So she drinks a lot of decaf tea, and a lot of it has flowers in it.
Well, I do like the pairing though.
No, the pairing's very good.
Yeah, the leathery haze. It just goes well with the floral in there.
It's like
That's kind of crazy.
It's like the rye was planted in the cigar, and it grew and flourished.
That is just so unusual because I've had a ton of ryes.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never had one that tasted like this.
That is way different.
That is
It's
super
very
interesting.
smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, not
well,
a lot
it's
of
only
ethanol.
what 88 proof you said?
It's 88 proof. Yeah,
Yeah.
not a lot of no ethanol on the nose. It's extremely smooth.
Right.
None of that pepper bite that rye usually have.
I'm a little surprised that the Hawk actually recommended something with such a low proof.
Yeah. Well, he got it for me. I don't know if he's ever had it.
Oh,
I don't even know what that
are you
means.
calling us names now, or
Look at what you wrote before you. And did you just drop your cigar? Oh, you dropped your glasses. What?
can?
Oh, candy runts. The runts candy.
yeah,
I am
Okay.
not familiar with that candy.
Runts candy.
Runts candy.
No,
No,
that's the one that the like little granule pebble thingies.
They're
I
like
thought that
little
was the
sour-
nerds.
Nerds.
There are nerds.
Oh, runts are the ones that are shaped like fruit.
Oh.
Yeah. You
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
absolutely lost
Gotcha.
me on that
So
one.
Yeah.
I love you, but no.
No.
Oh, wow. Got a snort. Pretty early in the episode for a snort, but we'll
Sorry.
take it.
You
No,
just
no,
made-
that was great.
I'm
You
a
just made our
snorter.
producer cry.
Sorry, bro.
That's not even
Sorry,
a
bro.
challenge anymore. All right, let's get into it tonight. So we've got this awesome Faustino the Cuban cigar, which is delicious, and it pairs very nicely with this 1869, I believe it's called.
1893.
1893.
1693.
1693.
Wait, what does it say on the?
Why do you have to get into
1693.
Yeah, hold on a
numbers?
second, everybody. Let's just turn the effing bottle. It's 1693.
1693. Which was either
There
a
we
year
go.
It's
or
only
a
four
GDP
numbers.
or something. I don't know. I'm gonna mix it up all
It's
night.
1482.
Yeah.
It's 1492.
We can do that in hex.
I just said it was 1698.
God. Anyway, it's a really good rye whiskey.
I like
and
it.
it's made in
It's good.
Central Texas.
Yeah.
So you should definitely try it.
Good job,
It's very
Chris.
good. All right.
Thank you, Chris.
Nice
All right.
selection.
So for tonight's conversation, I was a child of the 70s. You were kind of a child of the 70s/80s.
I was born in the 70s.
You were born in the 70s, which means you were a child of the 80s.
I was born in the 70s, so yes, I was a child of the 70s.
You were, well, but what year were you born?
70.
You were born in
I
70.
literally just said 1970.
Okay. No, I heard child of the 70s. That means you could have been born in 79 for all I know.
Well, I know I said I was born in 70, which is
Okay,
nothing
I
like I'm
missed
a
that.
child of the 70s, but okay.
Whatever.
To be fair, you always have to,
be
really
fair.
kind of, to be fair, you have to add 10 years to the year you were born to qualify for the year.
What?
God. Before this gets too out
That's
of
why,
hand.
and
No,
you know
Judge,
what?
I was actually born in 1980, so I'm a minor.
Ah!
That's what I used to say all the time before.
Anyway.
So you didn't even get to experience Tiffany and Debbie Gibson?
Well, I did, but I was like in my 20s, so it was kind of creepy at that point.
I shouldn't be listening to this. This is what grade schoolers are listening
I-
to. Oh, wait, me.
I think we're alone now. Anyway, we all had our favorite TV shows as kids, regardless of what decade we grew up in. And then at some point, we all do this. We go back and revisit those shows, and sometimes we find out that the shows we loved as kids are garbage as adults.
Totally.
And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. TV shows that we loved as children that absolutely did not hold up. And there are many reasons why television shows don't hold up. Cultural mores change, technology changes, fashion changes, storylines change. There's lots of different reasons why shows either withstand the test of time or just absolutely go to the dogs. Tonight, we're going to the dogs.
Do it.
So I would like to open the conversation by asking each of you to pick one show, and I'm sure you have many, off the top of your head. Or if you've already got it in the pocket, that's fine. I want you to tell us what the show is, why you loved it as a child, and why when you revisited that show you were like, oh my God, this is awful. Let's start with Brent.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh.
I would argue that show holds up just because of Catherine Bach.
Well,
Thank you, Micah.
You can't stop staring at her shorts.
yeah, I mean, she's probably the reason I watched it. But
She's the reason we all watched
that
it.
in the
buddy.
car, but
General Lee.
But the brothers, I can't think of their names right now.
Bo and Luke Duke.
Yeah, no, the actors' names.
John Schneider
John
and
Schneider.
Tom, whatever the hell his name
Tom
is.
Yeah.
something, yeah.
I was like, John Snyder actually moved forward, but the other dude didn't.
He did not.
He had a song come out called Black Bean Soup.
Oh,
Tom Schneider, he did an album.
that's how you chart top right there, baby.
So I would argue that almost, probably I would say 95%, maybe more, of shows from the 80s don't hold up today. And I will tell you why. It's because back then we weren't so uptight about everything. And there's a reason that a lot of those shows aren't in reruns right now, is because 80 shows were full of things like, and I'm not saying this is good, and I'm not approving of it by any means. Okay, I'm just saying we didn't really notice it back then. I guess I don't know how to say it and not be in trouble, but you go back and you look at all these shows, and there's things like there is overt racism in the shows, there is misogyny in the shows. They are making fun of people with disabilities.
Gratuitous sexism, maybe? I don't know.
Gratuitous sexism. I mean, all kinds of stuff, right? It was a little bit different time. Most people were hyped up on Coke, so we didn't really notice. But
Wait, are you saying in the 80s you were hyped up on Coke?
I said most people. I'm not most people.
15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Coke.
Yeah.
That's true. But no, so Dukes of Hazzard is just, it's just cliche hillbilly, basically. And, I mean, it's an entertaining show for sure. But, the writing was absolutely horrible. And Boss Hogg, I mean, come on. As entertaining as that guy was when I was a kid, he is so annoying now. Like, I can't even watch him now. He's just so annoying.
I don't know. For me, it was Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Yeah, Cletus. Yeah.
Did you know that guy actually got a spin-off series? The Deputy?
Cletus.
Enos.
I'm sorry.
Enos.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He went to the big city, a la McLeod in the 1970s, and got his own spin-off series. It lasted exactly not even one season.
Wow.
Before they yanked it off the air.
I can imagine. I don't see him.
Sounds like Joey from Friends.
I was in Pigeon Forge. I think it was Pigeon Forge one year for Christmas. And
why?
Christmas. We had a big family Christmas. Up
Oh,
in
you
there.
had a family. Okay.
Yeah.
So you all chose to go to.
Yeah,
Pigeon
it's
Forge.
very
You just
beautiful. Have you ever been to
dogged
Pigeon
on
I've
his
Forge?
never
family
been.
stuff.
Oh, you should go to Pigeon Forge. I mean, we got to go through the Smokies, and
Okay.
Pigeon Forge is absolutely beautiful.
Is that a holler?
It's not a holler at all.
It's not a holler?
No, it's a tourist.
You okay there, buddy? Okay.
It's a tourist destination.
Okay.
But there is a Dukes of Hazzard museum. I believe it was in Pigeon
It's
Forge.
a museum?
Yeah, it's the guy that played Cooter.
All right.
Was that the mechanic?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
If I was going to name a mechanic, I'd call him
Cooter,
Yeah.
100%.
I think in that guy, he owned this little museum, and there was one of the original General Lees was in there. Because they wrecked like 3 or 4 cars per show. They went like through 300 cars in that series.
Yeah.
The Dodge Challenger.
Yeah.
You're like, can I just have one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to put it in my museum.
But anyway, I will tell you one interesting factoid about Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
That created something. So there's a scene. Who was the dark-haired one? Luke, or was
Yeah.
it Bo?
Bo.
No.
Was that
Oh,
Bo?
wait. Actually, I don't even
I don't know. Well, so not John Schneider.
Not John Schneider.
Wait, you ready? I just pulled this right out of my ass. Tom Wopat.
Tom Wopat. Thank you.
Oh my
So
gosh,
Tom
your
Wopat's
ass
character-
is full of information.
You have no idea.
There's a scene where they're running and they have to get in the car real fast. Well, Tom Wopat is supposed to run around the front of the General Lee to get into the car.
He
But-
went across.
Well, he tripped and he ended up sliding across the hood of the car. And it was completely an accident. He didn't mean to do it, but he tripped and it just kind of slid him across the top of the car and he just kept on with the scene. Well, next thing you know, everyone's doing that now. I mean, that's a thing.
Including Simon Pegg and Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sliding across the hood of the car thing. Great one. Dukes of Hazzard. Micah?
All right, so because you know how old I am, it can't be like an actual show just yet. But the first one that popped into my head was something that I experienced personally with my kids. Because when you have kids and you start to like get into the various shows that you were into when you were a kid, and you're like, oh my gosh, I really need to introduce my kids to this stuff because awesome. Inspector Gadget.
Oh, yeah.
So Inspector Gadget, when I was a kid, I remember thinking to myself how awesome this show was, the technology in his body and the various things that were coming out. And the helicopter never really made a lot of sense to me because, you know, when it pops out of his head, it's like, is it stored in his spine? And like when it pops out and it starts propelling around, is his spine just all like goo? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So what I ended up doing was I ended up buying some VHS tapes of Inspector Gadget, and I was like, girls, you got to see this, and I'm watching it. They're loving it, and I'm looking at it and going, I am never going to get these brain cells back.
Yeah.
This show is incredibly stupid.
You weren't the target audience back then.
Yeah, but I mean. But hold on, because even when I rewatched like Care Bears, the original 80s Care Bears stuff, I was like, this is good messaging. I kind of dig this. That's fine. But Inspector Gadget, so effing stupid, so dumb. I could not begin to tell you. It was kind of like how I felt with Napoleon Dynamite. I am never going to get this hour and a half back in my life.
Yeah,
that's
we're
awesome.
not going to do that.
Oh, we're going to fight?
You're not going to talk about Napoleon Dynamite.
Here we go.
F that movie.
Cinematic gold.
Here
right
we
there.
go.
What the F ever.
Cinematic gold.
All right.
Cinematic gold. Oh my god.
So anyway, Inspector Gadget, it's just like, all right, the animation is typical 80s. I absolutely love that stuff. I mean, you guys know I do. But when I was listening to the dialogue and the writing and stuff, even when you suspend your disability, disbelief, thank you. When
Your disability to suspend your disbelief. Micah has a disability to suspend his disbelief.
how do we get canceled for that one? I'm going to suspend my disability. No.
Oh man.
When you suspend your disbelief of various pieces of it that allow you to enjoy the show. Like, for instance, with the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon. I watched that as an adult still, and I absolutely love it.
Well, because you're all into Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's the construction of the stories. It's the way the dialogue progresses. Not just the subject matter that I love so much, but that is not painful. It's not like, I love Dungeons and Dragons, I just need to power through this. Inspector Gadget is just mind-numbingly stupid. The writers had no effing talent ever.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have to. In 1975, I was 9. My parents started watching this show.
Hey, I was born in 75.
And thanks, Micah. And
No, it was 85. You forgot to add 10.
No, that's when I was a kid.
and I was watching it with them because the TV was always on in our house. And I thought this was the coolest show ever. It was a show on ABC called Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this is what high school is going to be like, man. We can smoke and drink and do all this stuff. And, Gabe Kaplan was the main character. And he plays this guy who comes back to his old Bedford-Stuy neighborhood after 10 years. And he's a teacher. And it was this group of ne'er-do-wells called the Sweat Hogs.
Yeah.
And he was actually a founding member of the Sweat Hogs 10 years ago. And now it's the new generation. Yeah. And this starred a very early in his career, John Travolta.
Yep.
And
Vinny Barbarino.
And then Ron Palillo played Arnold Horshack. And there were several other characters.
Epstein. I loved Epstein.
Epstein,
Jewish Puerto Rican.
the Jewish Puerto Rican, yes, and Freddie Boom Boom Washington.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was great. I was like, my God, this is what high school's going to. This is going to be awesome.
Well, it had one of the best theme songs ever. Come
on, John Sebastian.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Now, when I went back and watched that as an adult, what ruined it for me was the fact that all of the Sweat Hogs were in their mid to late 20s playing high school students. And when you actually look at them as an adult, you're like, well, of course you're a adult. Oh, my God. It was just, there were times where I swear you would see John Travolta walk into a scene, and it was clear that right before his entrance to the scene, he had done coke in the bathroom. Yeah. And just, it just ruined it for me. I just was like, how, of course, when you're a kid and you're aspiring to something, right? Like you're aspiring, I'm going to go to high school and make friends, and we're going to be the outcasts, but we're going to band together, and it's going to be this disparate group of people. You've got a cool, Lothario, you got a nerd, you got a Jewish Puerto Rican guy. What the hell?
I never had one of those in my friend group.
Yeah, me neither.
I feel deprived, actually.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
same. I never had a
We
Jewish
just
Puerto
didn't
Rican.
call him out.
Maybe.
But that, it absolutely, they all flunked out 11 times. There you go, buddy. It really is not a show that holds up because.
Well, again, it's one of those shows that has all these racist stereotypes. Right. All these ethnic stereotypes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All
Let me rephrase that. All these ethnic stereotypes that would be considered racist today.
Yeah.
All right. So wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
Right.
I got to chime in.
Micah's got things to say.
Nah, you mentioned this before, but kids of the 80s, kids of the 70s. I mean, there's a certain amount of leeway that you give to the shows. Yes, Blazing Saddles is just an atrocity when it comes to racism and stereotyping.
Yeah.
And also one of the greatest comedy films
And
ever.
it is one of the greatest comedy. So every time you say that, I mean, it makes us popular with today's generation, but at the same time, it's like...
No. I'm just saying, no, I'm not going for
So
brownie
let me
points.
ask you this so that I don't sound like an absolute tool. When you say that...
kind of a tool.
I know that I always sound like a tool, sorry. but when you say that it points out these various, these social ineptitudes of today, then, I mean, does it offend you today as opposed to when it did when you were a kid?
I grew up in the 80s. Not much offends me. I mean, my neighborhood group... it was extremely diverse, and I think I told the story. Like, I had a black friend that was one of my best friends growing up, and he had the jungle gym, so everyone would be invited to his dinner for house. He had a grandmother that lived with him. Her nickname for me was Little Cracker.
I love it.
God, I love that. Why do we not call him that on the show?
And no one cared.
I know that cracker was supposed to be an insult, but I'm like, I'm okay with it.
My friend group had Latino, black, white, European.
So
and we all made fun of each other all the time. And it was fun. We loved each other. It was just fun.
Here's what I want to do. I kind of want to turn this conversation on its head a little bit.
Yeah.
Because in the 70s, there was not a lot of diversity in television.
That's true.
So you can look at it that way. It's like, oh my God, a Jewish Puerto Rican, a token black guy, whatever. But keep in mind that until shows like Welcome Back, Kotter came on, those groups weren't even being represented.
That's true. Yeah.
So for their time.
So let's talk about a show, Good Times. I mean, come on.
Oh, Good Times.
That was like groundbreaking, that show.
Yep.
I mean, the issues that they dealt with and stuff. Yeah, that was a good show.
Still remember a line from Good Times.
Yeah.
And it was
it was Jimmy Walker.
It wasn't Jimmy. It was not
Dynamite.
It was not Dynamite. No, it wasn't. It was his aunt, I believe, who comes in, and they shot it proscenium style, right? So like the audience is back here, and everything happens up on a stage. It's almost like a play. And she comes walking through the door, and she said they were having a special down at the butcher shop. You get 10% off if you could find any meat between the fat and the gristle. And I was a kid, and that was one of the funniest lines I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
I laughed my ass off, and I still remember it to this day.
Yeah.
So yes, a lot of younger generation, Z, looking your way, that none of them probably even listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
But,
Not in a
you know,
demographic.
like would go back and look at those shows and go, oh, my God, that was so stereotypical. That was so racist. But the way you look at it in the 70s is ABC was kind of like on the cutting edge there because they were including minorities that were not represented in television.
Yeah.
So The Jeffersons was another one.
Wasn't
Thank
that
you, Hawk.
CBS though? Wasn't the Jeffersons and everything CBS?
The Jeffersons was CBS. Yeah. But so
Well, they weren't the first to do that, though. I mean, what?
Star Trek.
Thank you. That's exactly where I was going.
I knew where he was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can read my brain.
First biracial kiss.
Well, I mean, not only that, but they put a Russian and an Asian right in the front.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, but okay.
He's still one of my favorites. George, I love you, bro.
That was another one. Different strokes.
Yeah.
That was the 80s, though. Still, though.
And a spinoff.
Still, it was a spinoff. Yes, indeed, it was.
The only thing was there was some cultural appropriation in that show because James Stewart, although he has the Scottish name, he was not actually Scottish.
No, he was Canadian. Now he was an alcoholic, like a good Scotsman would be,
Right?
But he was definitely Canadian. And I got the opportunity to meet James Doohan one time, and to hear him speak in his natural voice
Yeah, it
was
just throws you right.
disconcerting.
Yeah,
It really
there's some
was.
like B-grade sci-fi movies that he's in.
It was
where he's trying to play a serious role.
disconcerting.
He's
No,
trying to play,
Larry.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you just can't do it.
Same thing. I got a chance to meet him too before he passed away, and yeah, I mean it's really, really strange listening to his voice when he speaks, and you know, after a while I started modeling my Scottish accent after his.
Nice.
So whether it was actually real or not, or whether
Yeah.
it matches the actual dialect of certain regions of
You do
Scotland,
a fantastic.
I didn't even care. I
You
was
do a fantastic accent of a Canadian man doing a Scottish accent.
I was gonna say, it's what they call
great. I love every minute of it.
it's what they call in the movie business unspecified.
Yes, indeterminate ethnic origin.
I'm giving it all she's got, Captain.
All right, let's take a quick break
And
and talk about the top TV shows of the 80s by year.
Oh,
And this list is going to surprise you, I think.
all right.
It's not very diverse. 80 and 81, the number one show was Dallas.
Yeah.
82 was
rich white people problems.
Yeah, 82 was 60 Minutes.
Also, rich white problems.
80,
Rich white people reporting on problems.
Hold on, it gets better. 83 's Dallas.
Again
Okay.
with the witch ring.
Yep.
Oh, hey, this 84 Dynasty.
Also, white rich
Different
problems.
different rich white people
Okay,
problems.
here's where it finally kicks in. 85, 86, 87, 88, The Cosby Show.
Okay, let's talk about that for a minute.
Hold on. Last one, 89, Roseanne.
Okay.
So they go from
poor people problems.
I was going to say
Poor
they
white
go
people
from
white
problems.
people problems.
Yes.
So Cosby Show, that's still
Chris is like going, nope.
Cosby Show.
do
Still,
it.
You
Don't do
realize you're behind the camera, right? So we need you to, you're doing
I
great.
see your arms flailing like constantly, but I guess it's ADD moment.
When we ignore you, don't take it personally.
we seriously need to give him a talkback mic so he can.
right.
Shut up! Don't do it.
Before we get into Cosby, can we talk about the first third of the cigar?
Sure.
Yeah.
I bet you thought that's where I was going, did you?
Actually, no.
Okay.
No. Because when you roll out a list, I know it's going to be a list. You don't mess around with your list.
I feel there's a consistent amount of barnyard going on.
Yeah, I'm still getting that. For sure.
Very earthy.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, very
That was,
light
that was
leather.
actually one of my dad jokes that I had to edit out. What does a gay horse eat?
Hey.
See?
I'm not drinking.
Should have kept it.
I'm not drinking to that.
Kept
Wait.
Should have kept it.
I am drinking to that. Hold on.
There was I was watching a comedian one time, and he was talking about the different cheers that the different branches of military do, and the Marines it was ooh-ah, right, and the Army is hoo-ah, and the Navy is like hey. He was in the Navy, so he could say that.
All right.
Okay, so
So Cosby.
yes, let's talk about it.
So Cosby is an interesting one because I actually went back and revisited some of the episodes, and I was really, really enjoying them. The only problem that I have is that having all of the information that I have on Bill Cosby these days taints my interest in laughing at jokes that happen, and various things that like
All right.
he'll say. You know where I'm going with that.
I do know where you're going.
Larry
with it.
has words.
I'm gonna back up though.
Please do.
Irrespective of that knowledge, in terms of writing, situational comedy, does the show hold up for you?
Held up for me.
Okay.
I mean, I know that we'll
And
get
what is the
canceled.
topic of this show?
80 shows that didn't hold up.
Or shows we loved as kids that didn't hold up?
Right.
So we have to stop talking about Cosby.
I think we should.
All right.
So
Fair enough.
anyway, all right. Give me another television show. Dukes of Hazzard was a great one, by the way, because I feel the same way you did about that show. I couldn't get enough of it when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went back as an adult, I was like, Jesus God, this is awful.
Yeah.
I mean, Catherine Bach is still awesome.
Yeah.
And I'd have that car in a hot minute, and that's all.
Yeah.
Everything else about it sucked.
So chalk this up to my active listening skills. But Larry, did you quote one that you didn't like?
Welcome back, Cotter.
I heard that. I knew that. Keep going.
Wow. Wow.
Shut up.
Anyway, what's another one you had, Brent?
This is why Larry looks at Brent the whole time during the show because shut up.
No, I look at you, and then I find you looking at Chris or whatever, and
Oh, honey, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
stop it. Just stop.
Hey.
I love
Hey.
that. I love that hat, by the way. Is that hat from Lock & Co?
It's from Lock and
Anyway,
Scheiße.
Once again, I find myself on the wrong podcast.
No, you're on the right podcast.
at least once or twice every episode, you're on the wrong podcast.
Yeah.
What's another show, Brent?
Alf.
Oh, my God.
Did you revisit it?
I did.
Yeah?
It is dumb.
Is it?
It is dumb.
So dumb.
No, I'm sorry. It is dumb.
See, here's the thing about Alf. I thought it was dumb when it came out.
Yeah.
Even then, I was like, no, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying it. I'm not even remotely interested in it because there was another show on television at the same time that was so much better that had Muppets, and it was called The Muppet Show.
Yeah. Have you
And
seen?
it was a variety show. It wasn't a sitcom.
I liked the
Did you
Muppets
see-
when they were on SNL.
Yeah. Did you see when they did the new Muppet Show, and it was more adult oriented? Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I thought that was SNL.
No. This is the when they redid the Muppet Show or re-released it. All the jokes and everything were way more adult.
Okay.
Well, you know what they were doing?
Yeah.
They were playing to their original audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a very smart move.
yeah.
There's a scene. I don't know if it's from the show, but there's a scene with Billy Crystal and Miss Piggy, and they redo the scene from when Harry met Sally in the restaurant.
Oh, F off.
Yeah.
Was that?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Can you imagine Frank Oz doing that? Doing Meg Ryan's part?
Yes.
Miss Piggy. Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But wait. I need you to go back and explain why you did like Alf when you were younger.
Well, because it was a Muppet, or not a Muppet, but a puppet, and
Not a Muppet, but a puppet.
the dad was this goofy guy, and Alf and I had we shared a disdain for cats,
Oh.
so that's how I connected with Alf.
Which is why that cat lives outside.
I
that's
was
not my cat.
going to say I love that he says that, as we all know he has a cat.
It's not my cat. I have to take care of it. It's not my cat. I'm not cruel to animals. Yeah, too close.
No,
for
we
comfort.
would
No.
never advocate that.
No. The TV show, Too Close for Comfort.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Too Close for Comfort. He's saying his TV show that didn't hold up.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
I was busy focusing on the show. All right, Alf, good one. Micah, got another one?
Growing pains. So I found that
I never watched that show.
I was 100%.
Was it Alan? What's his name?
Alan Thicke.
Alan Thicke. Yeah.
It's the dad.
So Growing Pains for me was in that same cycle of shows that I was watching with Cosby Show. Oh shit.
Family Ties?
Family Ties, thank you. Because
Michael J.
I'm really appreciating the fact that you're both in my brain right now, saving my ass.
Did you also watch Facts of Life?
Not as much. Not as much. But
not even for the hot rebel chick?
she was okay. But moving
Joe.
on.
Sorry.
Her name was Joe.
Joe. Her name was Joe.
Yeah,
See,
she
he knew. He knew.
Joe didn't like guys.
No, I watched that show for Lisa Whelchel because I was totally in love with Lisa Whelchel.
Joe didn't like guys.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that.
Yeah.
And I knew that even as a little kid.
So getting back to Growing Pains.
So the thing is that in my normal rotation was Cosby Show, Cheers, Family Ties, and then Growing Pains was actually like on one side or the other of Family Ties in its what's it called, in its lineup. So it was like either right after Family Ties or right before it or something like that.
Right.
So I went back and revisited it because I was looking at different shows and when we were talking about what we were doing this episode. And it is ridiculously wholesome.
Yeah.
Like, I get how
that's an interesting term.
I like wholesome. I'm a fan of it. I mean, even Family Ties had its wonderful wholesome moments. But Growing Pains was ridiculously wholesome. And to the point where it was just like,
Like over the top?
yeah, I just didn't need. Show me some faults, not your imposed
So I never watched Growing Pains, but I'm going to ask you a question. And I know that you never watched the show, but I'm sure you've heard of it. Did you ever hear of a show called Ozzie and Harriet?
I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
So Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah.
So that sort of middle America suburbanite wholesome is what that show was, but too much.
And you know what? Even the Donna Reed stuff and Mr. Ed, I absolutely love that stuff. And it had maybe something to do with the comic elements that went into it. But Growing Pains, it just forced wholesome.
Yeah. That's what Chris is saying. He's saying it was preachy.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at you guys because every time he does that, it's like, I don't think I have ADD like you do. But when Chris does that and I look at him, I go.
Yeah. Actually, what Brett has is ADHD.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll claim the ADD because when he does that, I can be in mid-conversation and go, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. It's a bit distracting, producer. Okay. So again, you guys have been focusing on 80s. I am a child of the 70s because I was born in 66. So for me, there was a show that I absolutely loved. There were two shows, actually, because there was the main show and then there was a spinoff show called The $6 Million Man.
Oh, yeah.
And then they spun off of that a show called The Bionic Woman.
Yep.
With Lindsay Wagner.
Lindsay Wagner.
So I absolutely loved it. It was the science fiction. It was the idea of taking a normal dude. Well, he wasn't a normal dude. He was a test pilot. He was an astronaut. But they had to make him bionic and all of this stuff.
Can make him better.
So which one of those didn't hold up for you?
Both of them.
Really?
Oh my goodness. I
liked Bionic
I
Woman.
went back and watched these. No, I was totally invested as a kid.
Yeah, I had the doll and everything. You
I
could
was
you could like
100
look through his head
You
and have the
could.
little crosshairs
Yes.
and eye and
I
everything.
remember that.
I was
Yeah.
100% invested in the idea of bionic people doing secret missions for the government with the Office of Scientific Investigation, OSI.
Yeah. We used to play Bionic Man outside as a kid.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I was totally invested. Then I guess I was somewhere in my 30s, and I decided to go back and you know, because everything was coming out on DVD, all your old favorites. I decided to go back, and I got the entire library on DVD, and I watched the first episode, and I was like, I watched the second episode, I was like, oh. I watched the third episode, I was like,
What
God,
have I
this
done?
sucks so bad. The production value
Yeah.
was so bad.
Yeah.
The acting was so stale. It was just unbelievable.
Well, Lee Majors, I mean, when he went on to do the Fall Guy after that.
Fall Guy?
It was
Yep.
the same freaking character
It was
without the
same
bionics.
guy.
Yeah.
Same guy
Yeah.
without bionics. Now, I was in love with Lindsay Wagner.
Oh, who
when
wasn't?
I was a
Oh my
kid.
gosh.
Her and Linda Carter, that would have been my dream.
My two moms.
Yeah, yes.
I was going to say the threesome thing, but Weird.
Wow, way to bring that up.
We were kids, man.
I was like 11, dude. What are we doing here? It's not that kind of show, Micah.
I guess
It's not that kind of show.
matured a little
Too
bit.
far,
the
buddy.
title.
Too far.
I've got the title
Because
for
the
this.
first
I've got
time
the
I saw
title for
Linda
this
Carter, I
episode.
was like,
I'm going to retitle this episode.
my gosh, come on. The first time I ever saw Linda Carter, I was
No,
like,
it's gonna be
what is
called-
that tingle?
It's going to be called How to Get Canceled by the Nerdherfers.
Buy the
Done
thong.
and done.
Everybody buy the thong.
Done and done. So, yes, that was a show that I loved as a kid, that while revisiting as an adult, I couldn't believe. And here's my favorite one. It was my favorite when I was a kid, and it's my favorite because it's so bad now. It was the episode where Andre the Giant, the pro wrestler, appeared in The $6 Million Man as Bigfoot. But it turns out, plot twist, Bigfoot is actually a robot created by aliens who've been living under a mountain this whole time. Yeah, that's how bad the show was.
just see
I saw
Andre
that
Giant's-
episode of Star Trek.
Andre Giant's walking through the forest like this, and he does the turn and he goes, "Anybody want a peanut?"
No, he did not. He did not.
Thank you for that, Brent.
Yes, it was good. Everybody with a peanut. Yeah, it was. Oh man, it was. I. That was the show that I revisited. That I thought to myself, perhaps I shouldn't do this anymore. Perhaps I should not go back and revisit shows from my youth because of this exact problem. But of course, I never listened to my own advice.
Right.
And
Would
so
you?
then I went and rewatched a show that aired in the 70s that at the time I was like, this is the height of science fiction. It cannot get better than this. And it was called Space 1999.
Oh, come on, please. Oh, yeah. Nope.
Now,
My disagreement's about to come out.
I'm with Brent on
My
this one.
disagreement's coming out.
Yep.
I don't
Go
care.
ahead.
I don't care that it was corny and campy. That is such a great
really
show.
was.
The special effects were horrible. You could tell everything was a model.
I love the ship design.
It was bad. Matter of fact, little interesting note: the original Millennium Falcon, when they designed it, Space 1999 came out before the movie got released, and the original Millennium Falcon looked a lot like the ship from Space 1999. So George Lucas came back and said, "You have to redesign the ship. It looks too much." And the ship that we see as the Rebel blockade runner was close to the original design of the Millennium Falcon.
interesting.
Yeah.
At the time when that show first came out in the 70s, mid-70s, it was the most expensive television program that Britain had ever produced.
I will tell you.
Martin Landau. and
Matter
Barbara
of fact,
Bain.
one of our episodes last season, one of our outro songs, I used the theme music from that because the theme music was. Do you remember an album that came out in the 80s, and I believe it was a K-Tel album because everything was K-Tel in the 80s. It was called Hooked on Classics. Do you remember that album? Mm-hmm. And it was like they would start playing the classic, and then all of a sudden the cheesy 80s
It would get
come in.
disco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get disco. Well, that was that intro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
It's awful.
Wow.
Does
So-
anybody know what one of the most expensive American shows ever made?
Battlestar Galactica,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And how much was it per episode?
$1 million.
Thank you.
And they had John Dykstra, and they ripped off all the Star Wars tech and got sued by Lucasfilm.
You know what was really cool about the show? Since you're answering my questions.
Well,
in your head.
I would just like to point out that I had the floor, but now I don't. So just go ahead.
Apologies.
No, just go ahead, Mike. Just go ahead.
This is what we do.
That's true.
This is how this show
No.
works.
Back to Larry.
We all signed the. We all signed.
You know
the
what?
We all
disclaimer.
signed the waiver.
We will cover this in the Battlestar Galactica episode.
There you go.
Coming
Yeah.
soon.
We'll save it. We'll save it.
What I was trying to figure out as an adult is where that budget went. It didn't go into the special effects. It definitely didn't go into the wardrobe. I think it went up right up Martin Landau's nose.
Maybe.
There's no other explanation.
If you don't know what he's talking about, it's cocaine.
There's no other explanation. I
Except
even
there's no
had,
apostrophe on
as
it.
a kid, I even had the.
I had the spaceships. I
What
had
was
the
the name of the
models.
spaceship?
I used
There
to
was
do,
a very specific, the Centaur.
No, it was the Eagle.
The Eagle?
Yeah.
Eagle 1.
Yeah, and I used to have.
It was Alpha Moon Base or something like that.
Yeah, and I was heavy into model rockets, and that was one of my favorite rockets. Was
Yeah.
the Eagle one? Yeah.
And it was great. I loved it. But it's like, how was this the most expensive show for the time?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where did the money go?
The writing was really bad.
It was so staid and just, oh my gosh.
Well, and again, it was one of those shows that it was the future where everything is super clean. You know, which was sci-fi at the time until Star Wars came out.
Even though they were living on a moon base,
right?
Where nuclear waste was being stored, and they got too much of it, and it exploded and acted like a jet propeller and just hurled the moon out into space. They never addressed what happened to the Earth as a result of that.
Exactly.
Acid rain.
Floods.
Oh God, it was just so bad.
They come back and it's Waterworld. Kevin, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour movie that's really bad.
What's his name?
Waterworld was a sequel.
Kevin Costner, thank you. Yeah, Waterworld's a sequel to
Waterworld the sequel. Well, we had to make Waterworld the sequel. There were so many unanswered questions from the first film. Oh, so bad. Oh
I
my
liked
God.
Waterworld.
Did you really?
I did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm like, you need to stop being so vociferous back there, man, because you're just very distracting.
I loved that Kevin Costner had webbed fingers and toes and
Which
stuff.
reminds me of another show that I loved
Manimal!
as a kid. No.
Not Manimal?
No.
Wait.
Man
Loved
from Atlantis.
or hated?
Wait, Man from Atlantis.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Patrick
Duffy. Yes.
Does it hold up?
It does not.
No.
It's horrible.
Christ, no.
You know,
It's
this
so
is actually,
bad.
I got to ask this because this is one of those times where we're talking about things that don't hold up and we recognize them as adults. But some of the things that I go back and rewatch, I kind of accept their cheesiness as part of.
Because that was the time and the place
Yeah.
or whatever.
I mean, production value 70s and 80s were just low for TV.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are not holding up, can you look at this right now? Do you see what's happening right
to
here?
you? I don't know. I mean, mine is just
Look
perfect.
at that. Look at that.
Mine's doing well.
I cut my cigar the same way you guys did.
You know
and
what?
I
You
am
should
coming.
just stop squeezing it and chewing
undone.
on it and stuff.
Is that what you think I'm doing?
That's what I think you're doing.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I know, but
Yeah.
I wanted to defend myself.
I get that you're trying to, uphold the honor of Faustino, and I appreciate that. And the flavor of the cigar is fantastic, but it is literally coming apart in my hands.
Well,
And
get the
on that
glue.
note,
Get to the Greek. I mean the glue. No?
anyway,
All right.
No.
no,
Okay.
just no.
All right, then.
I mean, this cigar is so long, we may be in the second third. Getting close.
I don't know. You think so?
Getting close, I think.
Has the profile changed for either of you?
No.
No, it's super smooth. And
I'm
hate
still getting all that cedar.
I hate that yours is coming apart, but it's consistent, earthy.
Yeah.
Graham cracker.
Yeah.
Really? So an element of sweet?
No, it's not sweet. It's just like graham crackery.
Have you
Yeah.
ever had a graham?
Well, okay, but to be fair,
To be fair,
when you eat like honey-made graham crackers, they have sprinkled sugar on top of them. I'm talking just like an uncoated graham cracker.
yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
In terms of flavor or mouthfeel?
Flavor.
Okay.
flavor.
Yeah, I'm not getting that. However, and I will say this, the pairing is really good.
Yeah. I'm pleasantly surprised by this rye. I was expecting something with a lot more bite to it.
Well, because rye.
Yeah.
We all expect that. It's so smooth.
It is
Yeah.
very smooth.
I mean,
and I'm
because-
still getting all that
There
floral.
we go. There's a little bit of pepper on the finish.
Yeah.
A little smidge.
So that's one of the main reasons why I've never really been a big fan of rye is because it bites me so
I have to tell you,
much.
the flavor profile of this is almost like a scotch.
It's actually a lot like your cat outside. So your cat came up to me and it's like rubbing on my legs and I'm petting the back and everything.
You
and
got,
then
you got about 10 seconds. before
10
she turns around.
seconds
Yeah.
and then like right as I was about to walk away, she like takes her paw and just goes, F you. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah,
I thought we were friends.
No,
We're not friends.
She's semi-feral, so you got a good
Semi-feral.
You got a good. Well, she was completely feral when we got her because we keep barn cats out here because of
yeah.
the mice and the rabbits and stuff.
But yeah, that's
but
one of
she's tamed a little bit, but still, the only place you can pet her is on her neck. Just so now you know from now on.
Oh, mental note.
Yeah, just on her neck.
Now I know my
you
mistakes.
touch her any other place, you're getting swat.
I went the whole back and I went up the tail.
Oh no, you can't do that.
God, you're lucky to be alive
Yeah,
right now.
man. I'm so
Surprised
happy.
she didn't kill you.
I'm
and
so
eat
happy
you.
you're here, Micah.
God.
But that's the thing about ryes with me, and one of the reasons why I shut them down in a lot of my whiskey drinking days was because ryes, they chew on me too much. It's like I want to just
Well,
enjoy your. I
they're
wanna
Like
enjoy
like a
your-
feral cat.
like a cat.
They're
That's why I brought it up.
ryes are typically harsher. I mean, you expect it when you have a rye.
Yeah.
And you're just not getting it here, which I'm not complaining. I mean, it's a great flavor. But
No, it's just really weird that it's classified as a rye.
yeah.
Micah, what's another show that you loved as a kid that did not hold up for you?
This is such a hard one. I mean, I only had a couple in the tank because I was like, let me think.
Well, I will tell you, seriously, I was serious in my statement when I said that most of the shows from the 80s, at least 95% of them, they don't hold up today. And it's because societal norms have changed.
Yeah,
You know?
Well, and it's the way that the shows are presented that I think I accepted as fact on their format. The way the format. So, all right, a show that didn't hold up for me because I'm out of. Now I have to kind of think about it a little bit. Why don't you go?
Do you have one in the tank? Let's go.
Go for it.
The Love Boat.
The Love Boat. Soon we'll be making another run. The Love Boat promises adventure for everyone. I'm sorry, I could do that whole thing. Anyway.
Set a course for adventure.
Yeah.
Your mind on a new romance. Yeah. Yeah, the stories were just stupid. I mean, again.
But you liked it as a kid.
Yeah. I
Was
liked
it
it
the
because
adventure of being on a boat?
I liked it because I wasn't actually allowed to watch it.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh.
Yeah,
It
because
was forbidden
Well,
fruit.
because of the subject matter. I mean, that, and there's another show that used to come on in the mornings called Love American Style.
Oh, Love American
Yeah.
Style.
Yeah, and Love American Style was just, sex. And
Oh
I was a
my
little kid, and my
gosh.
parents were like, you can't watch that. I'm like, you don't know I'm watching it.
That's what. Oh my gosh. So, one of my favorite bands from the '90s is a band called Jellyfish.
Oh, yeah.
And their T-shirt, they actually repurposed the Love American Style thing and said Love Jellyfish Style.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite shirts of all time. I had
Yeah.
it put into the T-shirt quilt.
Yeah, but if you go back and watch Love Boat now, as a kid, you're just like, this is just dumb.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
just stupid.
I just thought of mine when
the
you mentioned
stories
that.
are dumb.
There
the
were
writing is
so
dumb. The
many
acting is dumb. It's just
young
dumb.
actors
Yeah.
who went on to become notable
Yeah.
that cameoed on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox,
Yeah.
Dana Plato.
Yeah.
There were a million of them.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what that show was. I mean, a lot of people that came on were actually famous at the time, or they were on other TV shows or whatever.
Robert Wagner.
Yeah, but a lot of them were up and coming.
Yeah.
They kind of got their what do you call it, their debut there. But yeah, it's just dumb. I mean, it's basically the same show every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
It's just it was vignettes.
I have mine now.
Yeah.
Vignettes. Okay, let's go.
Fantasy Island.
Oh,
Yes, and for exactly the same
The
reason.
same reason.
reason.
Yep. And the fact that
Yeah.
the second that you
Smiles,
said
everyone.
that,
Smiles.
the second that you said Love Boat, I was like, that's the one. It was Fantasy Island.
yeah.
Ricardo Montalban and Hervé Villechaize.
And by the way, both of them were freaking awesome, but
Yeah.
the other things and all the stories that went along
Everything
with it
else
was
was
horrible.
awful. Yeah. It was
And then on top of that, they tried to reboot Fantasy Island.
And it was bad.
And that was exceptionally horrible.
Yeah.
Wait, there was a reboot?
There was a
Yeah.
reboot. and
I knew
Yeah.
nothing of this.
Yeah.
I tried it for a while and I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to enjoy this. And I don't.
Fantasy Island was basically, I'm tired of being a decent human being. I want to go away for a weekend and just be a horrible person.
Yes.
Well, and by the way, there were two movies that did that first. Westworld and Future World.
Yeah.
Wait, but I love those.
Oh no, I love them too. I recently rewatched Future World,
Yeah.
and because that's Peter Fonda.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Blythe Danner, Gwyneth Paltrow's mom,
Oh, wow.
who was always way hotter than Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm just going to say that out loud.
All right.
But yeah, those two films actually hold up
I love
for the content alone. They for the idea alone, they hold up.
If we ever do
Fantasy
a show
Island's
on that,
so awesome.
I've got a T-shirt.
Of course,
Of course you do.
I do.
Of
course
course
you
he
do.
does. Yep.
I would say, and I, there's a part of me that hates myself for saying this. A show that I loved as a kid, that I went back and looked at as an adult, and I was just like, oh my God. Any Sid and Marty Krofft show.
Oh, come on.
from Saturday.
You can't mess with those.
Well, you can, and I just did.
I mean, you knew they were bad when you were a kid. Come on. Most of those were 60s and early 70s.
They were 70s.
Well, some of them started in the 60s, didn't they? Didn't the Bugaloos start in the 60s?
Bugaloos maybe, HR Puffin stuff. But I'm thinking of the shows I watch. So HR Puffin
What
stuff.
I love about those shows, especially a show like HR Puffin stuff, is when you're a kid, you were not getting the subtext of that show.
No, not at all. Not at all. But also,
I mean, he was literally a giant mushroom.
but also Land of the Lost.
Oh,
Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a hard.
Electro Woman and Dinah Girl.
Electro Woman and Dinah Girl.
Danger Island.
Actually, yes, because that was part of the Banana Splits
Banana
Adventure
Splits.
Hour, which was also a Sid and Marty Krofft show, starring a very young Jan Michael Vincent.
Oh yeah.
He was a teenager.
Yeah,
at that
he
time.
was.
He went on to do another show.
Airwolf.
Yes, yes.
Okay, as a kid, I 100% was into that show. I mean, come on.
Agreed.
Super
yes.
Spy Helicopter.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go back
And also,
go,
oh gosh, what's his name? The guy he was on the Poseidon Adventure.
Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest Borgnine. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes. And then the reboot of Airwolf when
Wait, what?
the Van Dyke guy came on later after what's his name left, their first guy.
Jan Michael
Jan
Vincent.
Michael Vincent left. Yeah, it was Dick Van Dyke's son, whatever his name is, came on took over his role,
I never knew that.
and it was bad.
Well, it was bad before. The Sid and Marty Krofft thing, I just, when you're a kid, you have this sense of whimsy and magic and whatever, and so that's okay.
Yeah, those guys were crying all the way to the bank.
They really were.
Dry your eyes on the fat check you were raking in.
Because you just go back and here's the funny thing. Everyone, as adults, were convinced that Sid and Marty Krofft were just high all the time.
Oh, yeah.
When they came up with shows. They were two Canadian guys who never touched a drop of liquor, never did any drugs. This is just what came out of their heads.
Yeah, because they were Canadian. Dr. Shrinker. Do you remember Dr. Shrinker?
No, I
know
don't.
that one.
Yeah, those guys that were stranded on that island, and the doctor that had the shrink ray and would shrink them down, or
Dr. Shrinker.
Dr. Shrinker. Look it up. It was one
Okay.
of Sid Marty Crofts. Yeah,
That was a Sid and Marty Krofft
Yeah.
show. Okay.
Dr. Shrinker.
Didn't hold up.
Well, none of them did.
I mean,
Literally none of them.
I think maybe my my resistance is just purely for the nostalgia. I just love those growing up. I mean, what was the one that was the dune buggy that talked or had the?
That was a cartoon, though.
No, it wasn't a cartoon. No, it was an actual show.
Not Wacky Racers.
No, not Wacky Racers.
No.
Oh my gosh, what was that show? What was that called? But it was an actual. It was an old junky. You know those old beach buggies they used to drive around in the
I'm
70s?
consulting the interwebs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
then it
lights were eyes.
Yeah, and then it would turn into like this super sparkly car, and the bumpers were like lips, and it would talk. It wouldn't talk, but it would like make noise and stuff.
Yeah, you're no Knight Rider.
Yeah.
All right. Keep talking. No, that was an animated show.
Ooh, Far Out Space.
Oh, Wonderbug.
Wonderbug. Thank
was
you.
Wonderbug.
Yeah, and Far Out Space Nuts. Come on, Bob Denver.
I remember Far Out Space Nuts.
So I tell you, that's one for me that doesn't quite hold up, and I'll tell you why. because
Far Out Space Nuts.
No, because basically what they tried to do with this show was make Gilligan's Island in space.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were janitors. They go into a space, and by the way, it was the lander module that's like on top of the rockets for the moon. Somehow that went through space all by itself. But anyway. What they tried to do was make this a Gilligan's Island in space.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a guy that was not the captain, but kind of resembled the skipper from Gilligan's Island. Mm-hmm. And Bob Denver was playing the stupid, goofy guy because he was typecast in that role. But every single scene they had this thing they did where when they first took off, like they always had, they landed on a planet, they'd get in trouble and had to escape or whatever, and so they'd have to take off real fast, so they wouldn't have time to buckle in and all that kind of stuff. Every single episode, and when they took off, they were weightless, right? But every time this happened, it was just like all these things would come floating by them and stuff, or hit them in the face. It was like pies. Like all of a sudden pies were in the cockpit. They just boom, hit them in the face. But all the stuff that floated by was like the perspective was totally off. Like the bodies were like this big and this chair would come behind them and it was like, this big or whatever. It was so funny. It was just bad.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was possible to fly a car into space when I saw Heavy Metal.
Oh,
Well,
Because,
yeah.
you know,
Come
a
on.
Corvette.
yeah. Come on.
I mean, Corvette, I don't know about other vehicles, but Corvettes will definitely sustain in space.
Well, and I think
and re-entry.
our producer Chris Hockenberry would agree with that
Yep.
because he drove a Corvette here tonight.
True story.
Yeah. Are we on the second, third?
I would hope so.
Or did we already talk
Micah
about
definitely
that?
is.
So you guys aren't digging this one so much.
I am.
I didn't say that.
Chris. Oh, you haven't fired it yet.
He actually hasn't.
He's refiring.
He hasn't actually turned on his cigar yet.
Yeah. No, I'm super enjoying this. No, my second, third, I was talking about graham cracker,
Yeah.
like non-sweet
Yeah,
graham
yeah,
cracker.
Sorry.
I'm with you.
We will move on. Is it kind of time to do the next thing? What is the next
Oh yeah,
thing?
it is. We've
Yeah.
been talking a while.
Let's
Yeah.
effing do this.
All right.
Let's
here we go.
go. Here we go with
The greatest joke in the world.
Nice. God, I love our house band so much.
I
They're
love that.
so good.
I love that scream.
This
I
is
wish
a
I could beat
segment
that
of the
guy.
show that we call the greatest joke in the world. This is a competition, and it is a serious competition.
It's very serious.
We are each going to do 3 rounds of dad jokes. Once a joke is told, if anybody laughs, they have to do a shot, including the person who told the joke. If you laugh at your own joke, you still have to do a shot. And Micah, will you be so kind as to show our audience what the
Absolutely.
punishment
What
is
the
tonight?
punishment is.
It's not this lovely stuff right here.
It's
No.
back. It should be its own horror movie. It
Yeah.
is Heaven Hill Quality House.
And by quality, we mean the exact opposite.
I mean, anytime you buy a liquor bottle that says quality on it, you know what you're getting.
I know.
Agreed.
You
Agreed.
can't force this adjective on me.
No, you cannot. All right, so we're going to start this round with Micah Donahoe. Micah, let's go. Hit us.
All right. So once I poured root beer into a square glass, and now I just have beer.
He got that joke.
Math joke.
Yeah, that
you
is
need an
exactly
explanation?
why I did no.
Because I can explain it to you.
No, I understand that it was a math joke, and that's all I need to understand. But math has never been and never will be funny to me.
That's okay.
I'm sorry about that.
That was good.
Because
I love that
He
joke
enjo- he
so
en-
much.
That was good.
he enjoyed that
It's
joke.
like you're not gonna laugh, but it's like, oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's a good
But
joke.
Larry, I
Because
really
it makes
want to explain
perfect.
it to you.
It makes
No,
perfect sense.
root. I get it.
Square
No, you
root.
don't.
Square root.
I got it.
Okay.
Roots and squares are
My turn.
mathematical
Go, Brent.
opposites.
All right. Do you know which side of a turkey has more feathers?
Which side of a turkey has more feathers?
The outside.
That's good.
So close.
It's a good
So
one.
That is
close.
No,
good.
that's a good one. I have a question for our producer. If 2 vegans get into an argument, is it still called a beef? He's pissed at me now. He's angry at me.
Yes.
He's
not talking to you.
He's angry at me now. I get it. It's fine. All right. That's round 1. That was not interesting in any way whatsoever. So let's see if round 2 is any better. Micah!
I'm taking steps to overcome my hiking addiction. I'm sorry.
You laughed at your own joke.
No,
You
I
laughed
didn't
at
laugh
your
at
own
the
joke. Yes, you
You
did.
know what?
think
I'll
you
go
messed-
ahead and drink to that
I
in a
think you messed it
second.
up.
But I was actually like, that was laughter residue from the last one that I was trying to hold.
The root one?
No,
The vegan
the
one?
vegan one. That
Oh,
was good.
no. That's no.
All right, look.
Look.
I'm taking steps to overcome my hiking addiction. I'm not out of the woods yet.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought the joke was, I'm taking steps to overcome my hiking addiction.
I think you could just stop there, right?
You could have.
Yeah.
You could have. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still have to drink.
I do. F you.
Because, not F me.
Wow.
Not F me.
I'm sorry. I mispronounced me.
Keep going. Okay.
That's all I'm doing.
That counts. That's good.
Bam! All right.
Oh, F me life.
Okay.
Fudge.
This is a riddle. How do terrorists feed their children? Here comes the airplane.
Wow.
Dude. Too soon.
I disagree.
Oof.
I disagree.
Oh.
You guys just are afraid to take chances.
No,
That's all
it's
it
not
is.
chances.
That's all it is.
I don't know. It's like 9/11 really never goes away or something. I don't know.
What do you call a low-budget terrorist attack? 7-Eleven.
If I laugh at this one, do I have to drink?
No.
No.
Dude, he's just like rubbing it in. All right.
That's awful.
That is. It's so awful. It's so bad. All right. Whose turn is it? I don't even know.
Brent.
Is it your turn?
Okay.
All right.
I dated this girl in college once, and she broke up with me the minute she found out I only had 9 toes. She was lactose intolerant.
He's pissed at all of us now. He has made up his mind.
You know what he's
Oh.
doing? What he's doing every time we tell a joke is he takes a drag off his cigar so he
Anger
doesn't
pu-
laugh.
anger
I know what you're
puffing.
doing. I know what you're doing.
Anger puffing. I like that term. We're using that from now on. Somebody's anger puffing right now. Okay. Round 3. Here we go.
All right. You know, great hide and seek fans are really hard to find.
I'm going to give you credit for that. That was good.
That was funny.
That was pretty fun.
That was funny.
That was pretty good.
All right, I got producer purse lips.
No one wants
Nobody
to drink
wants to drink that
Nobody wants to
swill.
drink it.
that. We
Yeah.
all know what it is, and we're just like,
Yep.
Yeah, in the last episode, like we all had to partake. I even think
Yeah.
there was some gratuitous ones in there, but now it's like, you know
yeah,
what?
it's serious now.
It's for real.
That's actually a health hazard, and we're old, so
Definitely going to require some McDonald's on the way home.
yeah, because that'll fix that.
That'll fix it. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'd rather have than that? A heart attack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
that joke
go, buddy.
sucked.
my liver's failing, so I think I'll do something damage to my colon now.
Yeah. All right, go, buddy.
All right, you know what do you call a pig who practices karate?
What?
A pork chop.
Aw, I wish I was like 5 years old. That would have been
Oh
awesome.
my God.
Wow,
If I was 5 years old, that would have been hilarious.
these are dad jokes.
They
So-
are dad jokes. They're supposed to be. Hey,
Yeah.
Hence, 5-year-old
Hey.
receiving joke from dad.
fair enough. Hey, what did Bruce Willis say when he got a vasectomy? Snippy-ki-yay.
He snorted.
They're snorting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. That was it.
Sorry, producer.
That
Give
was
me
it.
a
glass.
That was it.
Is that it? Are we done? Is that all 3?
I think
all
we're
3.
done
I
for
I have,
this.
I have a bonus one. I want to
Oh, okay. Hit us.
All right. Well, my wife asked me to pass her the lipstick, her lipstick the other day, but I gave her a glue stick instead. She's still not talking to me.
I'm not drinking.
You're drinking. You're drinking.
No,
No, dude.
I refuse.
You agreed to a bonus round, and
These
you
are the
laughed at
terms.
the
When
joke.
did I agree to a bonus round?
When I
Because
asked you, and you
did
said
not
okay.
say no. I don't want to do a bonus round. Yeah.
It's okay, Micah. I have an extra couch you can sleep on.
I'm going to remember this.
I hope. Well, probably not, but okay. Fair.
Who else has to drive?
Good stuff.
I'm sorry, Micah.
After a while, you just can't taste it.
That's because it burned all the sensors off of your tongue. You have no taste buds
So
anymore.
bad. All right.
Chris is seriously getting ready to
Chris,
vomit.
are you going to hurl?
And thanks for another round of.
It's the greatest joke in the world.
That stinger never gets old. Never gets old. Hey!
Micah's dry heaving over there.
And he brought the bottle.
No. Brett
Well,
bought the bottle.
I bought
Micah
the-
brought the bottle.
That's exactly what I
Larry
said.
drank the bottle.
Yeah.
I drank a little bit of it.
Micah asked me to give him that bottle. And I told him how bad it was. And he was like, I want to try it. Because it was the original. It's the original recipe of
Yep.
Heaven Hill, right?
And you're like, just take it with you. I'm like, okay.
yeah. I'm sorry.
And I'm thinking
and
to
how
myself,
did that work out for you?
Well, I took it home. It's the bourbon that you give people when they're so far down the rabbit hole that you're just like, oh my God, this stuff is so great.
Or people that don't like bourbons, like you have your special humidor for people who don't like cigars.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I've
We all
got
have
this
that.
great rye. Try this.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there a joke about that recently?
What?
With the... Why do you have to what me like that? No, that... I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Moving on.
Helpful as hell.
Yep.
Another story that never happened from Micah Donahoe. Love it. Anything else to add before we close out, boys?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, we got to close it.
I will just say that it's been another fun episode. Tonight we were talking about TV shows that we loved as kids that definitely did not hold up. And if you ever are inclined to do that, definitely do it. Because there's no way to spend an evening that's better than shows you loved as a kid that you just go, what in the actual hell was I thinking?
Unless you're watching Daredevil,
Wait, what?
the new season of Daredevil. That's a better way to spend your time, is all I'm saying.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't watch
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget.
Go, Gadget Daredevil.
Go, Gadget. Don't put this in your VCR.
Wow.
Who has a VCR?
He does. He absolutely
I still
does.
do.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay.
He has a VCR. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the conversation this evening. I am Larry Brantley. That is Micah Donahoe.
Live long and prosper.
And that is Brent Williams.
Keep your shirt on.
Thank you to our producer, Chris Hockenberry. We will see you next week when we have no idea what we're going to talk about.
It's a surprise.
But it doesn't matter. It's a surprise to all of us. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. This has been a production of Nerdherfers. Copyright 2025, all rights reserved. No portion of this broadcast may be used without permission. Please visit nerdherfers.com for more information and full legal disclaimer.